We're living in unprecedented times. Around the world, medical teams are doing an amazing job in tackling the coronavirus. In the UK, our brilliant NHS, thousands of key workers and volunteers are leading the battle against COVID-19. Many of us are following government advice and staying at home in lockdown. Before the pandemic hit, myself, Neal, aka Barbecue Explorers, and the Smokin Elk had talked about collaborating on a video project for YouTube. The virus put a stop to that idea. However, as barbecue mad people, we are determined not to be beaten, so we have used a bit of online tech to create a new video show for the barbecue community. Welcome to the Lockdown BBQ Show. Coming up on today's show, Elky shows us how to use the vents on your barbecue to control the airflow and cooking temperature. DJ Barbecue takes us on a tour of his cookout zone. Neal creates a new area in his garden for chilling out and having barbecues. Our special guest is Purnell, aka Shropshire lad. And we go on a journey around the barbecue community to take a look at what you've been cooking. Welcome to the Lockdown BBQ Show. Hello and welcome to the show. We hope you've had a really good week. Elky, I've been cooking a lot in the rain this week. What's the weather been like where you are?
It's not been great. As you can see, I'm wearing a hoodie. This is the first time I think that we've done the show where it's not been beautiful sunshine, but still been outside cooking. The show must go on. So yeah, we do what we do. This week we're going to get straight into it with our guest interview. This week we have Purnell, aka Shropshire lad.
Adam, thanks for coming on the show. How are you and your family coping in lockdown?
Well, you know, it's been tough at times, but you know, beer's keeping me going. I'm actually out fishing at the moment, just outside my house on the lake, while I've been working all day on the laptop. So yeah, it's an adjustment, let's say. Outdoor cooking, as you know yourself, is all about sharing and getting your mates around and having a few beers, and you know, it's not quite the same on Zoom, is it?
Although we're talking about feeding friends and feeding family and feeding the masses, you've recently fed the masses, haven't you, with your kebab pop-up, as it were?
Stupidly put it out onto social media on a Friday morning when I was about to jump on the laptop again for my day job, and I said, you know, I'm going to do this. I put the menu out and said I need the orders by Sunday night so I can place the orders for ingredients or whatever, and it will be the following weekend. And I thought, you know, the orders would trickle in over the weekend. And literally, I couldn't put my phone down. And within 2 hours, I'd sold 115 kebabs and God knows how many sides. And I had to shut it down. And we just about managed to pull it off. Because obviously, I couldn't really get any help in either due to the restrictions. So I just had basically, my mate was running the front of the house, stopping all the traffic getting crazy out the front. We were just out the back, churning out the food. It was pretty crazy, but we pulled it off, and I've had some really good feedback, and loads of people keep asking me, am I doing it every week? And I'm like, am I doing it every week? Yeah.
What was the best dish?
On the night, everyone's gone nuts for the wings, actually, the sides. I did a drunken bavette kebabs, and then I did like a rotisserie pork shoulder that was sort of sliced really thinly and marinated, and managed to get 12 kilos of pork shoulder onto the rotisserie. which was interesting. It was definitely at capacity. But yeah, everyone's gone nuts for the wings, which were honey jerk wings, which is kind of one that I put on a lot. And I've made a lot of them, so I'm quite confident in those. But yeah, everyone goes mad for them.
Talking about chicken wings then, Adam, you were recently on Channel 4's Crazy Delicious, and you did some wings on there. Tell us how it come about that you were on the show, and tell us about the wings.
It was crazy, Crazy Delicious. It was crazy how it came about, really. They literally just contacted me on Instagram and sort of said, about this new show that was coming about. They sold it as Willy Wonka on acid, basically. Think of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory on acid. I was like, that sounds like right up my street, that. So kind of convinced me to do a Skype interview same day, and the very next day they said, right, we want you to come to London, and a week later they said, you know, we're going to be starting filming and we want you. It was a bit strange, really, because the other contestants I spoke to, they'd all auditioned and things like this, and I didn't do any of that. And I think maybe somebody just dropped out and they needed someone to fill in, but they contacted me, and that's how I ended up on there. One of the tasks was to do something, originally it was to do something extraordinary with potatoes, we had about a month to prep all this. So I developed this. It was actually a lamb fat baklava with potato that I made, and I really had spent a long time perfecting this. And then, literally a few days before the show, the executive producer rang and said, "Oh, we're really sorry, but we've changed the ingredient from potatoes to strawberries. I hope that's okay." And it's like, what? And luckily, I had these strawberry cheesecake chicken wings that I'd conjured up in my brain already in the bag that I'd made a few weeks before, and so they got thrown in without too much recipe development or time. But yeah, they're quite interesting. It's like a spicy strawberry sauce, hot sauce, with chili and paprika and black pepper, lots of vinegar. There's tangy, sweet, hot, and then the wings were coated in crushed digestive biscuits, like you would make, used to make a cheesecake, and then served with the blue cheese sauce like you would with buffalo wings. It's sort of like a collaboration of buffalo wings and strawberry cheesecake.
Do you think doing that experience gave the inspiration for doing your cook-along videos, which have been online recently?
Well, the reason that they came about was really the lockdown, first of all. But I keep talking about my day job, so I'll tell you a little bit about that. I'm a full-time youth and community worker, and a lot of the young people who I work with, they come to the youth clubs in the evening and stuff, and the first thing they do when they see me is say, "Adam, what are we cooking tonight?" And I've got a lot of them to the point now where I pretty much have made myself redundant in the kitchen. I stand back, I tell them what we're doing, I've brought the ingredients, I stand back and say, "Right, you guys do it." And if they need help, they'll ask me, but generally they can do it. And for them to miss out on that cooking twice a week was something I didn't want to happen. So I was like, okay, so we'll start doing a live cook along and they can join in. Some of them aren't able to, so we drop off food package for them with all the ingredients in so they can engage. And it's been a really, really positive way of staying in touch with these young people who probably don't have good connections with any other adults in their lives. And they certainly, they rely on us quite a lot. So it's quite hard to get them onto Zoom or something like that. But if you give them an activity and you drop the stuff on the doorstep, then they do. And so that's how the live cook-alongs come around. I mean, it's really good for me because it's my two job. But I don't really see Shropshire Lad as a job. It's more of a hobby, really. But they're crossing over, and for my boss to sort of accept that it's part of me, and to inspire people, you need to really be able to run with your passion, and I engage young people through food, and so it's worked out really well, to be honest. And then anybody else who's wanted to join in has been able to join in as well, and I've had some really good feedback, and some more than others. It seems that I sort of tell people a few days in advance what we're going to cook, so they've got time to get the ingredients in, give them the ingredients list, and some things are more popular than others, and which are always going to be. But yeah, it's had a really good response, so I'm pleased.
Obviously, you've got a YouTube channel. How did your channel come about? I mean, I was having a flick through it the other day, and I see you cooked a butterflied leg of lamb in a steam train engine, which is just how did that come about?
Well, the steam train thing came about because basically, so the steam train that I cooked it on is, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, it's the fastest steam train on earth. It's Tornado. It's the one that's in Paddington. I think it's in another film. I can't remember, but it's in a couple of films, and it's quite a well-known steam train. And the marketing manager actually lives down the road, and she came to one of my pop-ups at a local pub I did a couple of years ago, and she was looking for different things to promote Tornado. And she thought, we've got this huge firebox on the front of it. Like, can we cook something in it? So she just contacted me and said, would you be up for it? It's going to be in Shropshire, on this date. Do you fancy coming down and cooking something, and can you film it? I was like, yeah, okay. So luckily a friend of mine is a professional cameraman for the BBC as well. So he came down with all the kit, and we filmed. We did a butterfly leg of lamb. We did a lamb fat focaccia and a load of roasted vegetables in the firebox of this enormous, like 100-mile-an-hour steam train. So that was really cool.
Adam, what are your favourites to cook on the barbecue?
To be honest, I really like cooking steak, man. Who doesn't like cooking steak? A big, fat, juicy piece of beef. I like cooking it hot and fast. I like to, get the coals raging and really sort of, see the fat dancing. That's my kind of food, I'm not. I obviously, I like my low and slow stuff as well. But yeah, I over a big open fire, big grill, lots of veggies as well. I love cooking vegetables. So steak and vegetables really are my two favourite things to cook on open fire.
So what's your plans for the future? Where do you see Adam Purnell, Shropshire Lad? Where are you going to take it?
I just want to keep having fun. You know, I worked really, really hard last year and almost burned myself out. So I think, if anything, this being locked down recently has made me realise that I really need to sort of spend a bit more time for myself, for the family, and just sort of, you know, take a step back and think about what it is I really enjoy, and you know, and cut some of the other stuff out, really. But yeah, I love doing my video stuff. I'd love to do more stuff for YouTube. This, you know, this kind of stuff is great. I'm seeing more and more blogs come about and sort of live chats, and I think that's again as a result of the lockdown. I mean, this is the Lockdown BBQ Show, so there's clues in the name. But I think that a lot of what's going on now will continue. You know, I hope that I can continue to do the cook-alongs beyond the lockdown as well. So I'm just going to sort of go with the flow and see what the year brings. I think 2020 has been a really strange one anyway. So probably a lot of the stuff that I'm not doing this year will end up happening next year, and then the year after where the development happens. But yeah, it's all good. I'm just happy to go with the flow and just keep enjoying it.
Adam, enjoy the rest of the day fishing, and thanks for being a great guest on the Lockdown BBQ Show.
Much love, man. Appreciate that. Cheers to you guys.
Thanks, Adam. Been a pleasure to have you on. Cheers.
Big love.
A big thank you to Adam. Elky, Adam's such an inspiration.
He certainly is, yeah. So much so that he's created a campaign over on his Instagram page called FOBO, which is Food of Black Origin. He's got together a group of talented chefs, cooks, enthusiasts, and they've all got together and cooked a dish with strong cultural influences and posted it on Instagram on Sunday using the hashtag FOBO. Go and check out Adam's page for full details. It really is a fantastic campaign. So much so that this week's What's Cooking, we're going to show you some of those cooks.
Some great dishes there, Elky. Which was your favourite?
They all look great again, yes, but a couple that stood out for me. The Calypso chicken from Four Seasons Barbecue looked delicious. And the man himself, Adam, come up with a soft shell crab Benedict, which just looked unreal.
I think they all look fabulous. Now, this week, Elky, your how-to is on a subject that we get a lot of questions about.
Yeah, this week it's all about airflow and temperature control. In this week's how-to, I'll show you how we use the vents on your barbecue to regulate the airflow, to stabilise the temperature, and to cook food at the temperature you want to cook it at, using just the vents for airflow and for temperature control. So let's show you how we do it. So on every barbecue, with a lid, you'll find that there's normally two vents. You've got your bottom vent and you've got your top vent. Your bottom vent is to regulate the airflow coming in, that's your air intake. So the more that's open, the more air is going to come in, the more that's going to fuel your fire. The top vent is your exhaust, that's your air outtake, that's where the air is going to go out. So if you've got the bottom vent open, your air flows through, stokes the fire, comes out the top vent. Now you use these vents to adjust how much air comes in, how much air goes out. So next time you fire up your barbecue, practice using your vents. Use your bottom vent as your air intake. Open it up just a little bit, maybe a centimetre, half a centimetre, and then use your top vent as your outtake. And have that all the way open, and then just see what happens by turning it just a tiny amount each time and see what that does to your temperature dial. Eventually, once you get used to playing with your vents, your bottom vent and your top vent, you'll find that you're able to steady your temperature similar to your oven. So if you want to cook at something like 180 Celsius or 200 Celsius, you can do this by regulating the air in and the air out using your bottom vent and your top vent. If you are looking to slow cook something on your barbecue, then another quick tip is do not start with a raging hot fire. Do not fill your chimney and get it raging hot and use that. Start with some unlit coals in your grill and then put maybe 10 or so, a handful of lit coals on top, and then use your vents to bring that up to temperature, dial in the temperature that you want, and then slowly and steadily that's going to burn through the unlit coals and give you a nice steady burn for a few hours, rather than going in from the start with a raging fire. That's going to make it really hard to regulate your temperature, regulate your heat, and your coals are going to burn out a lot quicker. So start with plenty of unlit coals and then a few lit coals on top, and then get your temperature dialed in, cook that way, and just see what a difference it makes.
Great film, Elky. I think that will answer a few questions.
Let's hope so. Now, since lockdown, there's been a bit of a surge in people creating nice outdoor living spaces. You've created one yourself, haven't you, Neal? Should we take a look?
During the past few weeks, we have seen some amazing barbecue shacks and outdoor living spaces. In Programme 2, we visited Lee Clark's garden, which included an amazing oven. And in Programme 3, we went across the water to Northern Ireland, and Jim Moore took us on a tour around his brilliant shack setup. If you would like to view both these features in their entirety, you can find them on the Smokin YouTube channel. I know that a lot of you have been inspired by these designs and are currently planning your own outdoor living spaces and shacks, which is great news. During lockdown, my family wanted to create a new space in our garden to relax in and have barbecues. We had an area that doesn't get much use. We considered lots of ideas, and the one that got the vote was to build a wildlife pond. We had considered a shack, but unfortunately it's not the right place. It took a while to dig the hole and clear the area of stones and rocks. It was quite tricky getting the liner into place because of the shape we had created, but we got there in the end. When it came to filling it up with water for the first time, one of my sons took the opportunity of getting a bit of swimming practice in, which he really enjoyed. The pond has been in situ now for a few weeks. We've bought a few plants and the wildlife has started to move in. As we are still in lockdown, it's been a lovely place to chill, enjoy a few barbecues and a beer or two. If you've built a new barbecue shack or an outdoor living space to relax in during lockdown, we would love to see your photographs. Please send them to our Instagram page and we'll include them in the show. It's a lovely space and we're really looking forward to having lots of barbecues there during the summer.
It certainly does look good. Now, the great thing about barbecue is you don't need a huge outdoor space to create cooking magic. Our special guest from last week, DJ Barbecue, gives us a tour of his backyard.
So a lot of people want to know, what DJ Barbecue's cookout zone looks like, all right? They think it might be fancy and I got all the kit. Well, actually, I have a pretty modest little backyard. Half it's covered in the tree clippings that I did a couple weeks ago to give myself some more, sunlight. But yeah, so I based that. There it is. There, that's me, my table, drum BQ there. But that was in the car doing some catering and stuff. So haven't broke that out during pandemic because I've been doing more stuff on the KJ. There's a cooler. There's a cooler. There's a chimney flume. Okay, back here, you see in the back there's I think it's like a Volkswagen bus grill. There's a pit barrel. I used to use that a lot, but it's just easier using the KJ, but I still love my pit barrel. Another Weber. There's a pizza oven back there, more. And then this is where David Loftus shot all the photos for the feasting stuff for both books. So seriously, Fire Food and the Burger Book shot here. Part of the Burger Book was shot at T-Bone's mom's house. So yeah, anything that had a bit more space, there you go. So the KJ, and then there's the boom little cooler. There's a Kadai fire bowl there that I haven't opened yet. There's a tandoor here I need to season, and then I got the tiniest, crappiest kitchen there is. Just because we cook so damn much, there's just food everywhere. Ooh, there's a chicken out. I'm gonna do a chicken, I think. Yeah. Do I do it outdoors or indoors? See, the kid doesn't want all that smoke, so I'm gonna do it indoors. Okay, there you go. That's a tour of DJ Barbecue's tiny ass backyard. You don't need any kit. You just need, this much space to do what we do. Someday, it'd be nice to have all that space, but this is the result of divorce and losing homes and stuff. But the thing is, I got the kids and I got my grills. I don't need much space.
Elky, DJ Barbecue is an absolute legend.
I can't argue with that. He is an absolute legend.
Who's our special guest next week?
So next week's special guest is Ashes winning cricketer Matthew Hoggard, MBE, also known as Hoggy. It's already shaping up to be a great show.
I think it's been an amazing show. Thank you for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next week.
And special thanks to our sponsor, Kamado Joe. Keep those fires burning.